गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. So we were looking at the 15th verse. We finished that. Just repeat after me. Atitanaagatam kinchit न स्मरामि न चिन्तये रागद्वेष विना प्राप्तं भुञ्जां यत्र शुभाशुभम्. So the wise man does not brood over the past. Na smarami, na chintaye. No smara. I have to keep acting now. It's all trigger or a light. Na smarami, na chintaye. So doesn't worry over the future and doesn't brood over the past. And whatever comes, be it good or bad, I enjoy it without any likes or dislikes. So whatever life is, continuously life is throwing something at us, whether we like it or not. We have no choice but to face the traffic of life. But to face the traffic of life. What is our attitude with which we face this life? Is it an attitude of complaint? Is it an attitude of positivity? Is it an attitude of equanimity? Best way is to come into the present, and here, as the verse said, that whatever is coming, see it as the more we indulge in the past or the future, the ego becomes stronger, because that is the food for the ego, and we have to dissolve the ego. What do you have to do to dissolve ice? Give him a hand. I'll pause. So, when we want to melt a cube of ice, what is ice? Water. Then why we are calling it ice? So, what was the state of water as water? Formless. What is the state of water as a cube? With form. Water is comfortable in every container. Ice is uncomfortable in any container. And what do you need to do to dissolve the ice? Just leave it. Even at room temperature, you leave it. Even at room temperature, if you leave it, automatically it starts melting. Exactly the same way. You come into the present, leave the past and the future, you are in the present. That is your natural state. In the natural state, the ego automatically starts. Ego is the ice cube. It automatically starts dissolving. Understand the principle how this ego is functioning. Rather than, I don't like this ego, I don't know. Kuch nahi kar sakte. You have to starve it. And thus, starving the ego of its diet, the wise man lives every moment. Whatever the life is presenting to it, he interacts with it without likes and dislikes. Meaning what? He is interacting with it with equanimity, with the poise, being centered. In Buddhism, they call it mindfulness, with mindfulness. No reaction. Abhayam sarvabhutanam jnanamahurmanishinaha nijanande spruha nanye vairagyasya Abhayam sarvabhutanam jnanamahurmanishinaha nijanande spruha nanye vairagyasya Absence of fear from all beings and things is called knowledge by the contemplating seer. Attachment to the bliss of the self and to nothing else is the acme of dispassion. This is the opinion of the wise. Abhayam sarva bhutanam. Someone was telling, you were telling me, when we are in New Zealand, and I was telling when I was in Swiss Alps, you don't get the same joy that you get in Himalayas. Something is missing. They are equally beautiful, but something is missing there. And she was asking, what could it be? मैंने कहा रस नहीं है वहाँ पे महात्माओं की तपस्या नहीं है, उनकी वाइब्रेशन नहीं है, तो that is what it is. And so, Abhayam Sarva Bhutanam. When we are coming into the center, the meaning of coming to center means fearlessness towards anything or anyone. No fear. This young girl is an example of that. She had one fear. हाथ हिला लो, लाइट आ जाएगी. हाथ हिला लो, हाँ, good. I gave this example somewhere. We went to Bali and she has a phobia of snakes. And I said, you have to face the fear. And I held her hand and जैसे कि मैंने बहुत स्नेक्स को टच किया है, उसके सामने बोल तो दिया, प्रिंसिपल पता है. Now I have to act. So she said, I looked at it, hey यार छोटे से snakes हैं, but poisonous ones. तो everyone is touching, तो confidence आ गया, चलो अब इसको बोला है तो मेरे को तो करके दिखाना पड़ेगा. तो मैंने टच कर लिया. Oh no. फिर I caught her hand and I touched the snake. And yeah, that is very cool. That is very slimy. Okay, that's it. उसके बाद हम वो Tana lot, we visited the temple and came back. And then I said, now you need to go and do it alone. She says, I was also thinking the same. And she did it. That phobia of claustrophobia, arachnophobia, और क्या phobia होता है? Snakeophobia, marriageophobia, catophobia, spiderophobia, उसको arachnophobia बोलिए. So these all these different phobias of, and many people are, थोड़ा सा बोल दो तो they get disturbed, and all this is unnecessary. You are of the nature of infinity. You are the creator of the creation. How can you be afraid of yourself? Think. If there is some fear, it is the ego which is afraid. It is the concretized. Don't disturb me. I am somebody, Ice Cube. कर सब जगह आवाज करता रहता है. I am somebody. Melt. And how do you melt? By coming into the center, as we have been showing before. So here it says, Abhayam sarva bhutanam jnanam ahur manishinaha. Manishina is the wise man So say the wise ones that one must be fearless towards one and all, everything and everyone, including ghosts. मैं तो ऐसे ऐसे घरों में गया हूँ जहाँ के भूत भूत बंगला बोलते हैं और जाने के बाद कुछ होता नहीं है. स्वामी जी कैसे नहीं होता? मैं उससे बड़ा भूत हूँ. तो वो भूत मेरे से डरता है. तो वो अंदर डर नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर डर होगा तो वो कैच एनीथिंग, एनी नेगेटिविटी गोइंग अराउंड which is projection of your mind only, it will latch on. But if you show the fearlessness, the required fearlessness in any situation, you come to be greater than that, whatever the problem is. So never give in to anything. And that strength, that Atma Bala doesn't come from outside. You may pray to God, you may study the scriptures, you may do meditation, but Atma Bala is generated from within. It comes from the Atma. When you contemplate on the self and be the self, then Atma Bala starts. Its vibration starts spreading far and wide. And as that vibration spreads far and wide, हम बोलते हैं ना जब हम पूजा वगैरह करते हैं तो you do the kavacham. Why do you do the kavacham? So that while you are doing the puja, no outside forces are able to disturb you, or you do not get disturbed by them. May all the gods, devatas, they protect me while I am doing my puja or archa or whatever, isn't it? Now you live like that, not only for the puja. Your whole life is a puja. Whole life is the service to the divine. Nijanande spruhananye, and attachment to the bliss of the self, Nija Ananda, that is the inherent bliss, that is I am, Nijanande, Spruhananye, living in that bliss, attachment or desiring that bliss. Spruha is to desire. So desiring that bliss, और यहाँ पे लिखा है attachment to that bliss. Attachment to the bliss of the self and to nothing else is the acme of dispassion. When you have given zero value to the world. Why you have given zero value to the world? If you remember, स्वामी पता नहीं क्या बोला था आपने फर्स्ट लेक्चर में, सेकंड लेक्चर में भूल गए सब. But what was that? The whole creation is coming and going. I am not coming and going. Where is the whole creation? Waking world, dream world, and deep sleep world. All the three worlds are coming and going. Whatever is coming and going is a phenomena. You are not coming and going. Therefore, you are not a phenomena. And if one day by grace of God, if this clicks, automatically you live in this world, fully involved in the world, but inside there is absolute dispassion. Dispassion means virakti. Dispassion means disinterestedness in the world. Dispassion means udasinta towards the world. But for people who are looking at you, hey, he is doing everything, she is doing everything, but andar khali. Not giving any value to anything. Living in this manner, when you have given zero value to the whole world, who comes in that whole world? If you want to look at it, all the 14 lokas. Bhur, Bhuva, Swa, Tapa, Jana, Maha, Satyam, go down, Tala, Sutala, Mitala, Patala, etc., etc., Tala, Tala. He has been to all of them. Tapaloka, Satyaloka, correct. So 14 lokas. Where are those 14 lokas? Only in your mind, or projection of your mind. And if you are given zero value to it, no person from any of those lokas, no devta, no asura, can disturb you. Challenges will come, but if you keep focused on the Atma as the self, or keep focused on the Lord who is functioning through you, through this equipment, and that I am one with the Lord, you will get the you will get the strength, the required strength to face all this. You see, if you have read or seen the serial of Hanuman, he was only a small fellow, but every time a challenge comes, because he is only thinking of Ram, the Devatas come and bless him. He doesn't go to any Devata. Devatas come and bless him. Why? Because he is fearless. He goes to eat the sun, thinking it's an apple. The sun blesses him. Other gods bless him. And in this way, here it says, the wise ones say that spiritual life leads to abhaya and vairagya, fearlessness and dispassion. Spiritual life, your commitment to recognizing that you are essentially the infinite self. Brahmatmaikya Bodh, that you are one with the Paramatma at any given moment. Right now you may not know it, but accept that and live in that flavor. And that leads to vairagya towards that which is changing. What is changing? The world is changing. What is not changing? Atma is not changing. That is the trick to fearlessness. When no one is afraid of us and we are not afraid of anyone, that state of fearless existence is called knowledge. So what is knowledge? Here we are not talking knowledge about knowledge of the book that is giving and knowledge of the words, knowledge of experience. No. Knowledge means, yesterday I mentioned, knowledge means consciousness. Chit means knowledge. And what is this knowledge? It is unstruck knowledge. You don't need words for that knowledge. And once we have come to this knowledge, then nobody fears us and we are not afraid of anyone. But that does not mean they don't fear you, so they will come and trouble you. They will maintain a distance. कि इससे पंगे नहीं लेने चाहिए. So, many people, I go to London, India, अपने स्वामी जी के सारे डिवोटीज हैं, भक्त हैं या उनके शिष्य हैं. They can't ask him any one question anytime. He does not answer. और कोई क्वेश्चन पूछेगा यूं देखते हैं गायब. अगली बार पास में भी नहीं आता. तो क्योंकि he keeps repeating where the question comes from, there alone the answer is. Then he says, what? You want to ask question? Go to Paramananda. And थोड़ी देर के लिए मैं entertain करता हूँ. And after some time, if the questions are repeating, then फिर मेरी भी treatment शुरू हो जाती है. I don't answer them. But initially I will help them to come out of that. So they say, Swami ji, this is different. You are not like him. मैं कहा कैसे हो सकता है कि no two people are the same. He is he. Essentially we are one. Knowledge is the same. तो डरना नहीं है किसी से, ना ही किसी को अपने से डराना है. But at times mother knows that she loves the child completely, but at times she puts on the drama of anger to correct the child, isn't it? That is the way Mahatmas behave. They are Mauli. They don't hate anyone. They don't like anyone. They don't dislike anyone. They are like mothers. You come with the right attitude. You come with the surrender. You come with Shraddha. And you come with patience. जैसे अपने शिरडी बाबा बोलते हैं ना, श्रद्धा सबूरी. Shraddha is faith, saburi is patience. You want answer straight away because I asked, my question is important. तेरी तो question is not important. You have to be like the Nandi Bail. What is Nandi doing in front of Lord Shiva? Continuously waiting till eternity, from eternity. Waiting for the Lord to wake up and give him one vision, and he is happy. So when we have questions, understand, answers are with you. But if you want an answer. Wait. At the right time, in the right space, in the right environment, it will be answered. But you must have faith. But many people, I asked such an important question. I asked this question to so many Mahatmas. I think he doesn't know, that's why he's not answering. जा भाई तू ठीक है खुश रहो. Next point, Vairagya, dispassion is when one seeks nothing outside and is totally introvert, longing for, क्या लिखा है, नित्यानंदा. अरे 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 पहले निजानंद था, अब नित्यानंद आ गया. लॉन्गिंग फॉर नित्यानंदा और ब्रह्मानंदा. आगे क्या लिखा है यार?
Bliss, eternal bliss.
Eternal bliss. So Nitya means eternal, Ananda means bliss. Brahma means the infinite, and Ananda again means infinite bliss. Paramananda means Parama is infinite, again Parama, infinite, transcendental, and Ananda again means bliss. So first initiation, first name giving is done by the parents. Second initiation is done by the Guru Maharaj into Gayatri Mantra. Many of us have got it done, isn't it? Third initiation is done into sannyas. So when you get initiated at 7, 8, 9 years into Gayatri Mantra, your intellect is fired. So just like you light a fire, you bring the fire to the wood in the Havan Kund, without that the Havan Kund will not catch fire. Similarly, your Havan Kund of the mind, Gayatri Mantra se usko shuru kar dete hain, and purification happens. And as a result of that purification, when a person becomes completely dispassionate and he is totally focused towards the self, he has not realized the self, but is totally focused towards the self, then he is initiated into sannyas. So now he is given the name by the parents, then he is given the name as a brahmachari, he is called as brahmachari so and so, and then as sannyas his name is changed again, so that every time the name is changed you have to forget your past. So first, for example, his name is Nagaraj, then after that brahmachari Nagaraj. Now everyone is nobody calls you Nagaraj, everyone calls you brahmachari. And if someone calls you brahmachari again and again, you think, where am I lacking, man? You start working towards it automatically. So, and then when you are initiated as Swami Paramananda or Swami Nityananda or Swami Gadbadananda, then you start living like that name. Sab jagah gadbad kar diya. You start living your name. That is why in our Sanatana Dharma, the names of God were given, which had some meaning. Altu nahi. Maya, Mamta. These are not the names to be given to kids. देने हैं तो भगवान देवी के नाम दो. Continuing. So we have to shift. When we are not desiring anything in the world, our attention is totally on the conscious self that we are, which is the eternal, which is of the nature of eternal bliss. Knowledge is the reality to see one's own reflection in each and everyone in this world. Understand, everything is one. How will be the ocean looking at the wave? Hey, मेरा ही स्वरूप है. I am only expressing as all the waves. अरे ये तो छोटी सी वेव है, ये बड़ी वेव है, ये सुनामी है. This is a tide, this is a low tide, this is a high tide. Everything is me. Can you imagine? I can show you. You are doing it right now. Nothing in scriptures is outside your experience. This right hand also I am me, left hand also I am me, this disease also I am me. You only say, no, this is my headache. This is now I took Panadol, now I have got no headache. So everything is you in this body. The good, bad, knowledge, no knowledge, ignorance is also me, knowledge is also me. Buddhupana is also me, Shanpana is also me. Huh? Now, it is my, so that me then converts into mine. So this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my child, this is my house, this is my money, this is my investment, this is my extended family, etc., etc., etc. Who is a wise man? Either you give zero value to everything and come to the conscious principle, or you expand the ego so much that don't stop. My husband, my wife, my child, my house, the entire universe is mine. Entire creation is mine. Then there is nothing left outside of the creation. If everything is mine, then you are everything and everything is you. You cannot hate, you cannot love anyone. Or I shouldn't say love, not love anyone, you cannot get attached to anyone because everything is you. Are you attached to your right hand? No. Are you attached to your nails? Are you attached to your hair? Are you attached to your dadi? Are you attached to your clothes? Are you attached to I like my dadi? नहीं, but so थोड़े दिन के बाद फिर शेव कर दोगे, फिर हेयर कट कर दोगे, फिर पेडिक्योर मैनिक्योर कर दोगे. You keep doing it. So wherever the treatment is required, you do it, but at the same time, you are everything. Same thing is with this whole world. And then when nothing is excluded from the definition of I, we have established ourselves in knowledge. So either first it was told in the previous verse that everything you have, there is nothing that you are attached, you are the conscious principle. Now it is told, the Anvaya part, you have expanded this I to such an extent that it includes the whole universe. That nothing is outside. So where do you do these two things? On the seat of meditation, you exclude everything from your mind. Make the mind zero. Go into meditation, dive back into yourself, and you cannot remain there forever. Sometimes the eyes will open. When the eyes open, the senses open, the mind clicks again, you see the world. That world included in the definition of the I. That everything is the self alone. And how do you see everything is self alone? I alone am expressing through the whole creation, or Lord alone is expressing in and through all the beings. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. In this manner. Abhayam sarvabhutanam Jnanamahurmanishinaha Nijanande spruhananye Vairagyasyavadhirmataha Vedante Shravanam Kuryat Vedantai Shravanam Kuryat Mananam Chopapattibihi Yogenabhyasanam Nityam Tato darshanamaatmanaha Vedantai Shravanam Kuryat Mananam Chopapattibihi Yogenabhyasanam Nityam Tato darshanamatmanaha. One should receive Upanishadic instructions from the Guru. Our Vedantic Paddhati is Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. It's not Vedantic. The Shastric Paddhati is like this. Shravanam, when you are on spiritual path, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. What is Shravanam? Listening to the scriptures. Mananam, reflecting on the scriptures. Nididhyasanam, contemplating on the scriptures and becoming one with what the scriptures are saying. Scriptures don't say that pathanam. It doesn't say read the scriptures by yourself. Always study the scriptures by listening to scriptures under a teacher, and then you can pick up the book and study it yourself. But the first approach to any text that you are taking, it must be from a master, from a teacher who has followed, from a sannyasi, from a, if you want it from bhakti point of view, you be the student available, teacher will come into your life. Don't worry about it. See? And because otherwise what will happen? Like a tabla master. One student went, Swamiji, sir, I want to learn tabla. He says, yes, I have heard that you are a great master and I really want to be your disciple. Acha, how much do you charge? He says, if you don't know any tabla, then I teach it free. But if you have studied a little bit of tabla somewhere, then I charge 100 rupees plus per class. He says, I have practiced for last 10 years, but I want to really do good. I want to be like you. He says, first I have to make you unlearn everything you have learned. Therefore, I have to work harder. So, 100 rupees per class. It's very easy for a person who doesn't know anything to programming in the right manner. Exactly the same way, if you have formed certain notions, certain ideas, certain conclusions about what the scriptures are saying, by studying yourself, who are you? As a husband you are studying, as as an engineer you are studying, as a father you are studying the scriptures. You will not be able to get the right purport of what the words are saying. अभी इतना तुमने पढ़ लिया, अभी जो भी हम पढ़ रहे हैं इंग्लिश में, whatever is written here, you think you would have understood in the manner which we have explained to you? नहीं होता. So that is the experience behind, the sadhana behind, the parampara behind. So that is the way it is. And so if you have formed a particular conclusion about a text, then you go to a teacher, you will only judge the teacher. कि अरे ये क्या फालतू की चीज़ें कर रहा है मेरा, I have learned it this way. This person says this way, this person says this way. Who asked you to go to everyone? You remain with yourself. I went to many teachers, but only for understanding. I knew this much, that whenever I tried to study scriptures, Bhagavad Gita thi mere paas. In Switzerland, so ISKCON people gave it to me. And from that time, that was in 1986, from 1986 till 1995, 10 years, 9 years, every time I opened the book, I will read the Sanskrit little bit, somewhat, tune तो पता नहीं थी, पढ़ता था, sounds very divine. But then I used to come to the English. Or English का, before I have finished the meaning of that particular verse, I will be snoring. 9 years it went. The Lord did not allow me to study the scriptures on my own. So then I was frustrated also. Yeah, every time I open the book, I go to sleep. It's not just Bhagavad Gita, anything. तो फिर ये नहीं कि पढ़ाई की किताबें नहीं, पढ़ाई की किताबें करता था, but it was these books. Then what to do? Then I was doing my yoga sadhana. उसमें पढ़ते रहे आगे. Then and when eventually it clicked from inside. आकाशवाणी हुई, शास्त्र पढ़ो, शास्त्र पढ़ो, शास्त्र पढ़ो 3 बार. And within 6 months I was in ashram. Nothing could stop it. And when I went there and I'm listening to 2 years, 7 classes every day, 1.5 hours long, and no sleep. You are like a sponge, just taking it. Arey yaar, what Bhagavad Gita is saying, what Swamiji is explaining. This is exactly what was going on in my sadhana. Everything was a reflection of what was going on in my sadhana, in my life, what conclusions I had independently come to without having studied the scriptures. देखो, तो यहाँ पे बोलते हैं वेदांतये श्रवणम कुर्यात, expose your ears, expose yourself to listening to satsang. Nowadays, even more beautiful. You can listen to it on Zoom also and YouTube also. But every day, don't go haphazardly. आज यहाँ पे इसको सुन लिया, कल इसको सुन लिया. Sometimes you listen to this, but no. Take one text, take one intuitively, or just be desirous of studying the scripture and have a genuine interest in it. The right teacher, the right channel will come into your life. And I'm not telling just out of, not that it has happened to me, but it has happened to other people. And the right channel will come, the right master will come, or the teacher will come into your life, and you listen to that person. See? And follow the text. Because by the time we finish this text, how to live, how to conduct yourself in daily life. You are doing various activities. You get up in the morning, you take bath, you do your sandhya. But what is the spiritual take on all that is being told here. How to, in spite of living your daily life, is there a way to be continuously happy? That is being told here. For that, some shift in our understanding, shift in our approach to life has to come about. If I read one verse here, go to somewhere else in yoga, then come back to one verse here, the thought will not be complete. So we are reformatting. So now my phone, when I was in the room, it said iPhone storage full. I have to empty it. Sometimes it stops working, so I have to reformat it. Same way, we are reformatting to look at the same life in a new manner, in a refreshed manner. So here what does it say? It says, one should receive Upanishadic instructions from the Guru, and the Guru preferably should be Shrotriya Brahmanisht. Shrotriya, well versed in scriptures, Brahmanisht, well established in the experience of the self. He has realized that he is the what you call the Brahman. That he is the Atma. Then what is the next one? Next one is the one who is working towards being the Atma. He is the Acharya. The one who is able to explain the scriptures and is working towards abidance in the conscious self. We come in that category. Then below that comes what? Who teaches but does not practice anything. Who are they called? Professors. Who comes below that? Those who want to study themselves. That's the worst category. Never study yourself. If from childhood till now, from A, B, C, D to 1, 2, 3, 4 to year 1, 2, 3 till your P, whatever you have studied in your profession, you needed a teacher. How come suddenly in the life, in the journey of spirituality, you want to be a teacher free? Don't you think that if every field that you have studied in, you always sought out the best teacher that you could afford, you could get entry into, because you have to pay the school fees. Sometimes you know he's the best, but you cannot get there. But you study with someone else, but you are checking someone who's studying with that best teacher and getting their notes. Isn't it? So same way in spirituality also, continuously listen to scriptures from a Shrotriya Brahmanisht, if possible. If not, study under an Acharya, and whenever a person of that caliber, Shrotriya Brahmanisht, comes around in your life, never leave an opportunity to be in their satsang. And what do you do there? Do nothing. Just sit. Don't demand, don't question. Everything will be answered. Then reflect upon it by the process of logic. Then after listening, just as you are also experiencing, as some questions come, Swamiji, I didn't understand that, this is my take, what do you think? And it goes on. So that is called reflection. What do you do in reflection? You remove your doubts and suspicions about what you have heard, because what you have heard is making you think outside the box to your normal thinking. What you have heard is making you look at everything in a different way. And naturally, some complications will come there, because your default setting is something else and the new setting that is being given. So you have to keep, kya bolte hain usko? You have to keep updating. That is reflection. Then third part, by the process of logic. So whatever we are doing here, even in this text, is everything is logical. And I keep repeating this too in all my classes, that everything that the scriptures, take Upanishads, take Vivek Chudamani, take Bhagavatam, take this text, or take any composition by any master, it is a reflection of what is going on in your life. You are not aware of it. When you come across it, the scriptures only show you what is already going on. That's all. And make it into a sadhana. Then practice meditation by the proper method, that is contemplation. And what is contemplation? You become so focused on the topic. Topic is always Atma Chintan. You become so focused that in that focus, contemplation means you focus on Atma. Contemplation doesn't mean you get focused on the world. Contemplation is always on the Atma. And when you get focused on the Atma, automatically meditation begins. Whether it is as Savikalpa Samadhi, is it as Nirvikalpa Samadhi, or eventually it leads to Sahaja Samadhi. Sahaja Samadhi means if your eyes are open, all the senses are open, mind is functioning or not functioning, you are ever abiding in the truth. That is Sahaja. All the various masters, Sarvan Maharishi, Ramakrishna Paramahans, Gondavlekar Maharaj, our Gora Kumbar, our Jnaneshwar Mauli, so many others, our Neem Karoli Baba, our Lehadi Mahashay, they were all in Sahaja Samadhi all the time. Through sincere practice of these procedures, one will ultimately realize the self. The steps are only 3. What are they? Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. What about yoga? That is included in this. Yoga does not mean our default setting is yoga means सारे जानवर के आसन करना शुरू कर दो. Yoga means union. Yoga comes from the word yuj. Yuj means union, to yoke. Yoke what? Union with what? The individual consciousness yoked to the infinite consciousness. Arjuna yoked to Krishna. तो ये जो कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस कृष्णा को वही कर रहे हैं. एवरीथिंग इज कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्णा, पर उधर कोई लॉजिक नहीं है. प्रॉब्लम ये है, देयर इज ओनली भाव. So you decide which one you fit in. You fit in bhav, you fit in logic, you want to do a mixture of all the karma also, bhakti also, jnana also, Vedanta also, yoga also, सब mixture थोड़ा थोड़ा सब कुछ करो. You can't be focused only in family. कमाएगा कौन? So you have to be, you have to have balance you have to work towards the family, you have to work with the children, you have to keep the wife happy, you have to keep the boss happy, you have to keep the government happy, you have to keep, so many people you have to keep happy. Then life is lived, isn't it? नहीं तो डंडा पड़ेगा पीछे से. तो वैसे ही यहाँ पे भी है. There are three stages in the path of knowledge: study of scriptures, reflection on what is studied, which removes doubts, and yoga abhyasa to convert the doubt free knowledge into experience. And what exercises we have given you, just that is just a foundation. From the body you come to the observer, from the breath you come to the observer, from the mantra you come to the observer. If you do Ashtanga Yoga, you have to conclude with these three things. If you do Yama, Niyama, Asana, if you have done Asana, you should be observer of the body. Pranayam, you should be observer of the breath. Mind is a little bit more tricky, so Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi, you become observer of the mind. So that same process of which I have given you in 3 classes, 3 sessions, is expanded into Ashtanga Yoga. This same thing, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, is again expanded into the 8 limbs. But understand the principle, until unless you don't apply the knowledge. If I know, when I was living in Varanasi, and next to my room there was one person. And he used to see me get up early in the morning, 3:30, and I'll do my yoga abhyas and do my sadhana and om ucharan and pranayam, etc. So, jo bhi kar raha tha. So, one day he said, young fellow, like younger than me, he says, Swamiji, can you help me? मैंने कहा क्या हो गया? नहीं, I'm doing PhD on pranayam. PhD on pranayam. So naturally my next question was, how much pranayam you have done? How much pranayam you are practicing? कहता है, नहीं, I have done a lot of research in other books. I have done a lot of research in other books. Is that the way to do PhD in pranayam? By reading books are you going to get to know what are the intricacies that are involved, the challenges that come by, how the various channels open up, etc., etc. Until unless you don't practice, you will never understand. So we must, so if it is told Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam, you must expose to Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam. If I have told you, given you the exercise of being the observer of the body, until unless you don't practice it, you are not going to master it. And until unless you don't practice of being the observer of the breath, you are not going to be the master of observing the breath. You will keep falling. I understand, but it's not happening. Why? Because I'm not practicing. Keep practicing. And that practicing is putting into application what we have studied. Yoga abhyas is to convert the doubt-free knowledge into experience. So yoga abhyas does not mean only doing pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Yoga abhyas also means, what did we read before? What did we say? You have to dissolve the ego by not giving it the diet of past and future. That is also yoga abhyas. Dispassion, living a life of dispassion and coming to the Atma, being the Atma, that is yoga abhyas. You are coming back to your original nature. To expand that Atma, to see that this Atma alone is expressing in all the beings, is also yoga abhyas. Don't get lost in a limited understanding of yoga abhyas. That is the pathetic way in which the yoga abhyas is being taught around nowadays. Its scope is huge. It should be all inclusive. Union cannot leave individuality behind. While studying scriptures, remain nobody so as not to be influenced by personal bias. So, when you are studying the scriptures, you should not think that this scripture is better than the other one. When you are studying scriptures, If you have heard the same scriptures from some other teacher, you should not come into this disposition that fellow said this fellow is saying this. No. I think some of you also mentioned that many masters say many things about what we are hearing here, but we get confused. The problem is not with the teacher. Problem is with you. Firstly, why do you go to Smeni? In Maharashtra, there is a common saying, I made him my guru. Meaning, मी त्याला गुरु मानलंय. You do not, nobody makes a guru. Guru makes a shishya, first thing. So this is a big ego trip that I made him my guru. और मेरे को जब ऐसे मिलते हैं तो मेरे को तो बड़ा मजा आता है. मैं तो खींचता हूँ, दबा दबा के खींचता हूँ जो मेरे को ऐसे बोलता है. So the teacher should make a student. You have to become qualified to become a student of a teacher. If the teacher doesn't accept you, you have got no chance. Then you will go इधर से उधर धक्के खाते फिरोगे. So you become the patra. Let the guru fill up that patra. Patra means vessel. You become the empty vessel and let the Guru Maharaj fill that empty vessel with all the knowledge and wisdom. For that, with that, being that empty vessel, you approach the teacher. You approach the teacher. How? Samit Pani Shrotri Brahmanishtham. Samit Pani, in Upanishad it says that you come approach the teacher with dry twigs. Why? Dry twigs, there is no moisture or desire in them. So the moment the teacher lights the fire, the wood catches fire. So you are empty. The moment the teacher says, like Nisargadatta Maharaj, did I say it in the class or just to you? So Nisargadatta Maharaj, he was just a pan bidi shop owner. And one satsang he goes and the teacher says, Tattvamasi. And he says, Tattvamasi, tell me how I am that. He says, you are that. Because he went as a nobody, one word from the teacher lit the fire in him, and 2 years later, a realized master appeared in the society. No scriptures, just one satsang. And in that satsang, the teacher told, Tattvamasi, you are that. He was saying it generally. But that student, that Nisargadatta Maharaj, among all the hundreds of people who were sitting there, was available. None of the other 99 people realized. This fellow realized and became a great master. Question is about our availability. The teacher must select us, not we select the teacher. Never go to a teacher, will you make me my disciple? Phas gaya. Now he is going to encash you as best as he can. Because it was your need. You be available. You check out a teacher. Is he worthy to be or not? Does he know it or not? First do your due diligence. You do it for everything else. For teacher also you must do. Or if you are continuously preparing yourself to be a nobody, doing your sadhana like I did. I never studied anything. And when the Akashvani happened, go and study scriptures. In 6 months, the teacher appeared in my life. I didn't know who he was, but I had my reservations initially. I don't know where I completely different environment, etc., etc. But एक बार सत्संग शुरू हो गया, my focus was on the self. And Anubhavanji was teaching. There was no question, there was no doubt, because every sentence, every satsang was a reminder of what I was. That was good enough for me. See? And always follow the words of the teacher. Never follow the teacher's actions. So here it is told, don't judge. So don't judge what? Don't judge the scripture, don't judge the teacher. You are here for knowledge. You work on yourself. It is not your responsibility that why he's got big dadi, other sannyasis have got no dadi. Who are you? All sannyasis wear lungi and kurta. They go in cold with only one shawl. And this Swamiji is wearing pant and thermal and jacket. ये कैसा सन्यासी है? ये कैसा स्वामी है? Who cares what you think? If you get lost in this, what is being told is lost. So don't judge. You are here only to listen. You are not here for this body. A true teacher will only empower you to become an independent seeker in life, not make you dependent. जहां डिपेंडेंट हो गए मतलब समझो फंस गए. फंसना कहीं नहीं है. Be free. Continuing, yoga abhyas is practiced only after one is spiritually evolved, or else it is only acrobatics and not contemplative. Our Swamiji nicely says, he says, Swamiji, don't you do yoga? He says, yeah, I don't twist my body, I straighten the mind. I don't twist the body, I straighten the mind.
Yes, in-depth meaning.
हाँ
In-depth meaning.
हाँ, तो सोचो उसके बारे में. तो here we are not to twist the body. I gave you the definition of asan. Sukha asit iti asanam. This is the definition of the one who gave you Ashtanga Yoga. And what is the world doing? Only twisting the body. They feel so great. We go to the top of the mountain Dandenong and we do 108 times Surya Namaskar. तीर मार लिया. तीर मार लिया. करना चाहिए, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि नहीं करना चाहिए. But in the right frame of mind. Then if you are doing that, you are doing it only for the body. That is not yoga. Your attention is only on the body. I did 3000 Kapal Bhatis. तीर मार लिया. Your attention was only on your stamina of how many Kapal Bhatis you did. Bhaiya, pranayam's purpose was to go back to the source of the breath. The pranayam's purpose was not that you can do 3000 or 5000 Kapal Bhatis. So you lost the plot. Think. Think. You want to say something? No. Light.
Just switching
Ah.
it a bit.
And the last point here it says, when I'm saying all this does not mean that you should not practice yoga abhyas. You should, but with the right understanding. For the clear experience of the intellectual understanding that I am other than the body, the student has to regularly practice dharana, dhyan, samadhi. So eventually it comes down to the 3 sessions of meditation, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. I have to come to I am not the body. So first I am not the body was I am not the sharir. The second aspect of the body was I am not the prana. Then third aspect was I am not the mana. I am not the mind. So you are the gross body, sthula sharir, sukshma sharir, karana sharir. Same thing is put in another ways. Annamaya kosh, pranamaya kosh, manomaya kosh, vijnanamaya kosh, anandamaya kosh. You are not any one of these. These are equipments. This is the vehicle. Driver doesn't drive a vehicle to remain in the vehicle. He takes the vehicle, uses the vehicle, gets into the vehicle to reach a destination. And then he parks the vehicle and gets out. So you use this vehicle, reach the destination. What is that? अंदर से पुल आ गया, ध्यान में बैठ गए. Park the vehicle and get out. Get out means where? Back to your original nature. शब्द शक्तेर चिन्त्यत्वात् शब्द शक्तेर चिन्त्यत्वात् शब्दादेवा परोक्षधीः सुषुप्तो पुरुषो यद्वत् सुषुप्तो Sushupto Purusho Yadvat Shabde Naivanubudhyate Shabde Naivanubudhyate Shabda Shaktera Chintyatvat Shabda Deva Parokshadhi Sushupto Purusho Yadvat Shabde Naivanubudhyate. The strength of the word is considerable. It takes lifetime to create a relationship, but one wrong word and you can break the relationship, isn't it? One wrong word. All of us have experienced that. So, here it says the strength of the word is considerable. So, choose wisely, choose alertly what words come out of your mouth. Choose wisely, choose alertly, be vigilant what words go into your ears and form the thoughts in your mind. Be very careful. What type of music you hear, what type of satsangs you hear, what type of movies you watch, what type of serials you watch, what type of environment you move around in. Be very, very, very alert about it. All this will, it will affect your mind. So here it says, as through the power of words a sleeping man wakes up, so too by the power of the words alone the direct immediate experience is gained. I'll give you one story here. Our Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when he felt that he was a great master. You have all heard of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa? Yes. And he practiced everything. He practiced Radha Bhav, and when he was practicing Radha Bhav, he started developing breasts. He started having periods. Then people said, no, ye kya ho raha hai? Then they stopped him. It took him 6-7 months to go back to being the normal. Then he wanted Hanuman Bhav. He started to develop. His spine started growing, it becoming a tail. Then again after 6 months they said, Arey, ye kya ho raha hai? Again they stopped him, and it took another 6-8 months for the tail to recede. And this way he practiced, he looked into what the Christian bhav is, what the Islamic bhav is, what the Baha'i bhav is, all the different. And one day, because he was the Upasaka of Devi, Kali Mata, so everything, his mind was always overpowered by Kali Mata. Everything he will do, he will give answers to people, he will do whatever, but he will ask Kali Mata. Kali Mata is speaking through me. And one day he heard about Vedanta. Vedanta is beyond the word, beyond the mind. So he didn't know what is this. But now such a refined master, then in him an urge arises that I want to know what is beyond an experience. Immediately the teacher came into his life. Very next day, one great master called Totapuri Maharaj, who was living in Puri, his samadhi is still there. He got a vision that there is a disciple who needs guidance. And for a few days he has been walking. He comes to Calcutta and he comes straight to the ashram and meets. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, yes, I'm waiting for you. He says, I've been told to come and meet you. What is the problem? He says, I want to know what is Vedantic, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, that is beyond thoughts, beyond Vedantic. So he says, okay, no problem. What are you doing? This. He says, okay, sit in meditation and cut the Kali Mata's head. If in normal life, if we tell you this, it will be blasphemy, isn't it? But you want to go. You want to merge into the infinite consciousness. I'm not talking about God here. I'm talking about you want to merge into infinite consciousness. That is the path he took. You have to go beyond form. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa wanted to go beyond form. So he says, cut. He says, I can't do it. I can't make myself to cut the head of the Kali Mata. She is my Isht. She is my everything. She is expressing through me. I am not other than her. She is not other than me. Very nice. Same words as Vedanta. And when he used to come out, no, I want to go beyond the experience. एक दो बार तीन बार try किया. Okay, he said, sit down. He sat down. He says, so tell me, where does the form of Kali Mata come from? He says, my mind, it is in my mind only. In my mind only the form comes up. He says, okay, from the same mind, now you pick up a sword. And because he was so focused, he picked up a sword. Now he says, with that same mental mind and the mental sword, you cut the head of the mental Devi. And he cut it. 3 days, Ramakrishna Paramahansa did not come out of Samadhi. 3 days. Went beyond form. देखो शब्द का. So what was the Shabda? It was the instruction of the Totapuri Maharaj to Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Without that guidance, he would not have been able to go beyond form. Similarly, without the Shabda, Tattvamasi, that teacher gave to Nisargadatta Maharaj, Nisargadatta Maharaj would not have understood, I am that, and clicked onto that. Without the word, the small clicks that are happening to you here in last 7, 8 days, 10 days that we have been together, it is only because of the words, either from the scriptures or from the teacher's mouth. So word is very, very powerful. Your mind is only functioning with words. Choose wisely what words you entertain in your mind. We are very, very careful what food we want to eat. We are very careful what clothes we want to wear. We are very careful what house we want to live in. We are very careful what type of car we want to drive, which trek we want to do. So we must be even more careful what thoughts we entertain, what thoughts we expose ourselves to. Don't follow the sheep. Have the sheep mentality. Because the world is doing it, are they doing it wrong? If the whole world is eating in Marathi, if the whole world is eating shen, will you eat shen? Shen means cow dung. You will not. If the whole world says you are stupid, will you accept you are stupid? No. So exercise your discrimination. So here it says, the power of word is unimaginable. We have already talked about it. The impact of word depends on the understanding and receptive capacity of the listener. Now here is a I'm going to give you something which you have never heard before. Some of you have heard, those who come to satsang, but others you may not have. There are 3 steps, no? Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. You want to reduce it to 1? You can. But for that, you have to be alert. While the words do not make the difference. So what are words riding on? The words of the teacher are riding on the consciousness. And the students' listening capacity, the hearing capacity is also because of the consciousness. Only 2 live people can interact, isn't it? When your attention as a student is on the consciousness because of which hearing is possible, and when the teacher's attention is on the consciousness because of which the speaking is possible, and the consciousness meets the consciousness, knowledge takes place. Because consciousness is of the nature of knowledge. Word is not of the nature of knowledge. Consciousness is of the nature of knowledge. You bypass the next 2 steps. Airdrop ho gaya. You bypass the next reflection and what was that? Mananam and Nididhyasanam, reflection and contemplation is bypassed. And it does not matter what the words are meaning. No, it does matter. But your attention, you have to find that knack that you are listening, you are understanding, but your attention is on the consciousness because of which this listening and understanding is possible. ये knack आपको develop करना है. Vedanta, so here when it says that the impact of word depends upon the understanding and receptive capacity of the listener. So this is what I just told you is the highest capacity. This is the Uttam Adhikari. The thoda sa lower, he will listen, he will write notes. Little bit less, he will listen, and while listening, he is judging. Someone said this about the same thing, so nothing is going in. Third, Vedanta Shastra tells us about Jagat, Jiva, Ishvara and Parabrahma, Paramatma. Jagat, Jiva, Ishvara are mutually dependent. I have told you about this already. Jiv, Jagat, Ishwar is the Triputi on which this whole creation is established. They are not mutually exclusive. For whom is the Bhagwan? Ishvara. Does Ishvara say, I am Ishvara? Or in Jiva has said, there is Ishvara. Jiva is afraid of Ishvara. He wants to find the cause of the creation. So, because I have my parents, who are they? The daddy, mummy. Who is the parent of the whole creation? Shiva Shakti, Ishvara and Shakti, Ishvara and Prakriti. They are the mother and father. So like this, Ishvara, Jiva and the Jagat, they are mutually dependent. That's what is told here. And are mutually dependent and superimposed on the absolute reality, just as man is independent of the husband, the brother and the father. Man is independent. So where are these three roles? They are superimposed on the man. Man is neither the father, nor the son, nor the husband. Man is man. So where is these three roles? Only an imagination, which you have accepted because of the social norms. See? Water is water, but you are calling water as ocean and wave. You have accepted the total conditioning of water and individual conditioning of water and calling it by different names. So these three, Jeev, everything is Parabrahma, Paramatma. And on that, we have superimposed Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar. That is imposed on the absolute reality, which is a common substratum for the three, but independent of them. So, that Parabrahma, Paramatma, which is none other than the Atma here in this body, is independent principle, untouched by creation, untouched by God, if you want. See? So in our culture, in our Sanatan Dharma, those who are the Madhvas, they believe, Madhva Panth, Madhvacharya, Udupi, Madhvacharya. What do they believe? That the individual can never become one with God. Then what do? Seva karte raho. Take the whole world as the body of the Lord and serve the Lord. Then comes the Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya is the Vishisht Advait. They believe that the soul, so here first one was what? Soul can never become one with God. In Vishisht Advait, the soul is part of the total, just like a wave is a part of the ocean, the total. So we can do sadhana, nam jap, sankirtan, puja, archa, etc. Purify ourselves and become one with the Lord. And third is Shankaracharya. And Shankaracharya is Vedanta. And what does Vedanta say? That the truth is infinite, infinite consciousness, it's absolute reality, and everyone is already realized. They just don't know it, and they have to come to discover that they are already that. So these are the three paths which are prevalent in our Sanatan Dharma. Majority of the Hindus don't even know this. Karma, 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 karma. Why? Who was that? Our Tilak Maharaj. He wrote the book Bhagavad Gita from Karma Yoga point of view. Why? It was during the during the freedom movement. He needed to inspire everyone to work and stand up and work for the country, fight for the country. It was कहाँ पे लिखी थी? जेल में. So every teacher has appeared. Jnaneshwar Mauli, he spoke on Bhagavad Gita in a different flavor. But it catered to the intelligentsia, the pandits who were corrupted in their thinking, and also the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Shudras, the carpenters, the farmers, the cobblers, everyone he catered, and everyone he made understand what Bhagavad Gita is about. A different person at a different time. This is the greatness of our country. That whenever a time is required, a master appears to disseminate this knowledge to the masses, depending upon how it is required at that time. Madhvacharya came at his time. He's the latest. Before him was Ramanujacharya. 8th century was Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya came towards the end of Buddhist era, which ruled for 2500 years. Compassion, पूरी सनातन धर्म की वाट लगा दी. See? But at that time nobody fought with each other. They only debated. This fighting all began after Shankaracharya. Because 8th century Shankaracharya came, 9th century the first invasion began by the Mughal, by the Ghazni and all that. And for the next 1200 years, total destruction of our culture. And because there was destruction of the culture, different masters came at different times to establish. Our Ramana Maharshi was there, and during the freedom time, and our Mahatma Gandhi was also there. And people came and asked Ramana Maharshi, Mahatma Gandhi is mobilizing the masses, freedom for the country, Swarajya. Why are you not taking part in the freedom struggle? He says, who says I'm not taking part in the freedom struggle? I'm also taking part in this. He is taking part in the freedom struggle for freeing the country. I am in the journey of freeing the I. I am also in the freedom struggle. Freedom from I. See how many people are sitting here? How many people travel days together to come to Tiruvannamalai to meet me? Why are they coming? I am also on the journey. I am also freedom fighter. And in this way, the study of scripture changes the earlier notions of the sadhaka in the right direction. We are living a notional life. We have notions. We have a notion, I am the body. This I told you few classes ago. We have a notion that this creation was there before I was born. We have a notion that this creation will be there after I die. We have a notion that Bhagwan from there is making us, use us like a Katputli, like a puppet, and he likes someone and he dislikes someone. पता नहीं क्यों ऐसे कर रहे हैं, समझ नहीं आता. We have a notion that we have to do something to realize. This is also a notion. Fact is, not doing anything is realization. But we don't know how not to do anything. तो फिर लगे रहो अष्टांग योग, लगे रहो study of scriptures. So then you will do where where your attention is. If your attention is on the body, if your attention is on the world, you will do seva. When you realize that your seva in this world has not brought any dent, the world is always again the same, it still condemns you, then that person's attention comes on the body. Then he starts on yoga. Then after some days on yoga, then his attention comes on the breath. Then he does pranayam. Then he says, "Arey, iske aage kya hai?" Then he comes to japa, mind control, and then he comes to the Vedanta. And this way, we are so scriptures change the earlier notions which were detrimental to our growth with the notions which are supportive of our growth. So everything that we have studied is supportive of our growth. And what is growth? Coming back to being the infinite reality. You are essentially that, like it or not, accept it or not. If you don't accept it, it will take some lifetimes till whenever. One day it will click. But you have got the human birth by mistake. You have got the human birth because by God's grace, if you say, no, I got the human birth because of my good deeds, ek thappad. My deeds means my ego. I did the good karma. Ego abhi bhi barqarar hai. Get out of that. It is because of my good deeds. Deed is done only by the doer. First shift should be everything that is happening in my life is because of him. After that, everything, him, the Jeev Jagat Ishwar is all one, and that one I am. ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन आनी चाहिए. ये तुमको कौन बताएगा? तुम्हारे डैडी मम्मी तो नहीं बताएंगे, दुनिया तो नहीं बताएगी, टीवी सीरियल तो नहीं बताएंगे. टीवी सीरियल दिखाएंगे भक्त का एक लाइट निकलता है यहाँ से, टुक 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 जाके भगवान में मिल जाता है. तुम उसी को देख के ओ माय गॉड आंसू निकलने शुरू होते हैं. वेरी इमोशनल, इजंट इट? इट लुक्स वेरी गुड. Nothing like that happens. Imagine if this house is broken, the space will go as tuk 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 go into the total space, or immediately it is the total space. Zara socho, think. We are deeply lost in the sleep of ignorance. The words of the scriptures wake us up. Now, when you wake up, you have been shaken up from sleep, you will only cry. I want to sleep a little bit more. Abhi 5 minutes hain. The bus comes only at 6:30. I have got 15-20 minutes to take shower. I will get ready, mummy, no problem. 2 more minutes, 1 more minute, 30 more seconds. फिर एक थप्पड़ पड़ता है या पानी आके गिरता है मुंह के ऊपर, फिर हम उठते हैं. So same, this is also same. Do we take it as a thappad to wake up, or do we take it as that we are ready for this knowledge? It is time. We are on this journey to Kailash, and it is time. It is appropriate that at this time we are being given, such words are coming to us to wake us up to our essential nature. So be grateful. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om. Om Brahma.